Good evening, everyone. Apopka High School welcomes you to Joe Sterling Gymnasium for game number 20 out of 28 here at the 14th annual Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge, the event that puts the reputation of the Orlando Metro Conference on the line against some of the best talent in the greater Central Florida area. And in this 20th game, we welcome as our guests, wearing the black jerseys, visitors on the scoreboard, from Auburndale High School over in Polk County, please welcome the Bloodhounds. And wearing the white jerseys, home on the scoreboard, representing the Orlando Orange County Metro Conference from University High School, please welcome the Cougars. Let's meet the teams. We'll begin with our guests from Auburndale. And we'll start for them at shooting guard with 6' junior, number 0, Jaden Lindsay. At shooting guard, 6' junior, number 1, Aiden Curry. At point guard, junior, number 2, Deshawn Johnson. At forward, 6'4", junior, number 4, Ramirez. And finally, for the Bloodhounds at small forward, 6' senior, number 5, Devin Schieb. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for the University Cougars. Starting at forward, 6'4", senior, number 0, Levi Hubbard. At forward, 6'4", junior, number 1, Trinell Taylor. That's not right. Strike that, number 2, the point guard, 6' senior, number 2, Jalen Pringle. At shooting guard, 6'4", senior, number 11, Hudson Maurer. At guard, 6'1", junior, number 15, Jared Caraballo. And finally, for University at forward, 6'9", junior, number 25, Kyle Bailey. The head coach of the Bloodhounds in his 23rd year at Auburndale, Mr. Eric Robinson. And for the Cougars in his 3rd year at University, Mr. David Bailey. The officials for today's game are from the Central Florida Officials Association here in Orlando. We thank them for their dedicated service to our high school athletic programs and join them with our participating schools, reminding everyone to make great sportsmanship a part of this and every athletic competition. Once again, today's games are being live streamed on both YouTube and the NFHS network. If you have friends or family back in Auburndale, back in Orlando, or anywhere in the world who are unable to join us in person for today's game, make sure you let them know. Go to NFHSnetwork.com or open up the YouTube app on your favorite computer, smart TV, or mobile device and search for Metro VSFL. And we want to welcome those of you who have done just that to Joe Sterling Gymnasium. My name is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Metro versus Florida Challenge, media director and operations manager here. And I am joined by Neil Fisher of the Apopka Chief to take you through this 20th installment of our 14th year. And we're going to start with a foul. Neil will let you get us into this game in just a second. But first, we've got some contact. Foul is called against Bloodhounds number 1. Aiden Curry, his first, the team's first, and that will send Jared Caraballo to the line, shooting 2.
And as always, Mark, an excellent job of the pregame festivities, introductions.
Well, I screwed up one of them.
We are underway with University at the line, and as you said, that's Carabello. So, quick preview. First of all, no way to avoid this, but unfortunately the Auburndale Bloodhounds had a miserable season last year, and their top senior, Carter Cuff, fortunately passed away. I remember calling his name last year, and unfortunately, as he said, he played in this event, and then, of course, the next Sunday, which would be 2 days from now, he passed away in his sleep due to a heart condition. And obviously, there are things much more important than basketball. This brings it out, even if it is a cliche. It's a cliche because it is true. And, of course, I do want to, along with Mark, send our condolences to Carter's family, along with the Auburndale basketball, or just the Auburndale community in general. I realize it's been a year, but it's been the first opportunity we've had to pass that along.
I know Eric Robinson is, we noted during the introductions, this is his 23rd year at Auburndale. I think he might be tied with Terrence McGriff at Bartow for the longest-serving head coach at the same school of any of the 50 participating teams in the Metro versus Florida Challenge. I don't care if you're doing this 100 years. There's just nothing that prepares you for that. And so certainly the Bloodhounds are looking to bounce back here as they play on with the spirit of their fallen teammate. And we'll start with Aiden Curry putting 2 up for the Bloodhounds.
Yeah, and on that note, an 8-18 season, obviously, where I was going, Mark said it's just, you just don't recover from that. We've seen it all the way, unfortunately, from the professionals all the way down to
3 for Kyle Bailey from Levi Hubbard.
To even the youth level, which obviously is more tragic. Again, 18-18, a season ended in the district quarterfinals. They are a Class 5A District 8 member, a record of 6-2. And now they do, however, move, again, you have to move forward. A host of players return this year. Aiden Curry, Derek Ramirez, Dejon Johnson, and Jaden Lindsay.
Stolen layup by Jalen Pringle.
Lindsay also coming back from an ACL injury. He did not play last year. Duncan, Devin, Schieb, and Dejon Barber are their seniors who are going to be counted on. They are, as always, a very deep team, a very balanced team. And as you've already seen so far, they like to run that ball up and down. Of course, I've been following high school basketball in Florida.
Taylor to Caraballo. That's Maurer to Caraballo for 2.
As the lead now grows to 9-2. And I've been covering basketball for 35 years. I've had a chance a number of times in the 20-plus years that Coach Robinson has been at the helm, and nothing has changed as far as that style. They like to get up and down, move that ball quickly. You know, they take their shots within 10 seconds from the time they get it in the defensive end. At the other end, sweeping through the lane, the up and down move.
Levi Hubbard adds 2, and we'll pause for a Bloodhound timeout. 30-second timeout requested by Auburndale. We'll take this opportunity to thank our presenting sponsors for the Metro versus Florida Challenge, including Dr. St. Germain and his team at St. Germain Chiropractic, offering the best non-invasive healthcare services in the Central Florida and Orlando area. With most insurance accepted, they can treat back and neck pain, headaches, auto accidents, slip and fall injuries, musculoskeletal conditions, and more. Remember, when in pain, call St. Germain.
So also, and then of course, to conclude with Auburn, this is actually their first game of the 2024-25 season. We move over to University, who now has come out guns a-blazing, an 11-2 lead. They've yet to miss. They've missed only 1 shot, 4 or 5 from the field. They come off a 22-6 record. They were regional semifinalists, if you prefer, a Sweet 16. Member of Class 7A District 4. As you heard Mark say, David Bailey now in his 3rd season, but a longtime coach if you follow high school basketball. As they rip down University, that is another rebound. Kyle Bailey, the 6'9" junior forward at the other end. University taking advantage, moving quickly. And University.
Foul's called against number 4, Derek Ramirez. That's his first personal foul, the team's second, and that sends Levi Hubbard to the line shooting 2 for the Cougars.
And University 5 and 7 in this event. So they have 4 returning seniors, not only experienced, but they have great size. And Kamara led the team last year with 18.9 points per game, 8.8 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks. Hudson Maurer was right behind him with 11.9 points and 4.5. Levi Hubbard, another returner, and Jalen Pringle are expected to be strong contributors and supporting staff.
Ramirez on the pass to Aiden Curry to pull down the Bloodhound bucket.
So an 11-4 lead for University, 4 of 5 from the field. They come out guns a-blazing. Also want to point out, of course, Eric Robinson, as we mentioned, 23rd season at Auburndale, longtime coach over in Lake County, swinging through the lane and using his body as Bailey. He draws the foul, got whacked. But David Bailey, the University coach, if you follow high school basketball, especially in Central Florida.
Foul called against Derek Ramirez, his second, the team's third. This time it's Kyle Bailey going to the line to shoot 2.
David Bailey, a very familiar name. He's been at a number of high schools and programs. I believe.
Yes, when we say
20 plus years.
Yeah, when we say it's his third year, we mean it's his third year at University, not that it's his third year coaching.
So certainly, I guess you say one of the stories within the bigger story of the teams is we got a great head coaching matchup here between 2 highly experienced teams, or highly experienced coaches. As Curry spins around, hands it off. That's Johnson trying to go one-on-one, sweeping through that lane, and it'll be effective in terms of drawing the foul.
Foul's called against Cougars number 0, Levi Hubbard. That's his first personal foul, the team's first. So, checking into the game for the Cougars, number 22, Deshawn.
So whereas Auburndale is yet to play, this is their first game of the season. University comes in 2-0. Victories over Lake Brantley in Ocoee, who we just saw in the previous game, is Auburndale unable to drop the deuce. And boom, University with an opportunity to further increase that lead. The fake pass and making the withdrawal.
Hudson Maurer for the layup. So Maurer slicing through the Bloodhound defense. Now we're going to get a block on the other side. Foul's called against Cougars number 2. Jalen Pringle on the block. It's his first, the team's second.
Auburndale inbounded, trailing by 9. Swing it around to the right side with Johnson. He'll reset the offense under 3 minutes. It's been a clinic of efficient field goal percentage and shooting. Muscle bumping, grinding. That was Lindsay and
traveling.
And
Cougars ball.
And actually no foul, but probably all that grinding and contact threw his rhythm off, and thus the turnover. Long outlet pass, and at the other end, making a withdrawal.
Transition layup for Hudson Maurer.
So Johnson brings it up, now trailing by 11. That's Auburndale. University representing the Metro Conference. Auburndale out of Polk County, representing the Florida contingency. So University in a 2-3 zone. Behind the back dribble from Ramirez as he tries to slice and negotiate his way through. And
from my angle, it looked like, Bailey got all ball, but Deshawn is called on the foul. That's his first, the team's third, and that will send Derek Ramirez to the line.
So Ramirez looking for his first points of the game. Both teams with 3 fouls already.
Yeah, it's one of those where you got two guys that go up at the same time, and you're looking at the guy who's on top, and Kyle Bailey actually blocked that shot perfectly. The problem was that Masai Dejon didn't. Checking into the game for the Bloodhounds, number 13, James Tillis.
Inbound pass as Auburndale is full court man-to-man. And again, mentioned that they long known under Coach Robinson, up and down, try to force the action, be aggressive. And it starts with defense going full court. Deshawn hands it off, right wing. Slicing through, kicks it out. Open man, left wing extended. Drain, no rain.
Three for Jalen Pringle.
18-5 lead now. Slashing along that baseline, too soft to touch for Barber. Strong rebound, long outlet pass. And there's a whistle. Ball was not even close, but you could definitely see contact and the ball going off target because of the foul.
Foul called against Bloodhounds number 10, Cameron Sneed. That's his first personal foul, the team's fourth. At the line shooting will be number 22, Masai Deshawn.
So Deshawn at the line, who took the long pass that got him down to the baseline. He's looking for his first points. (18-5) lead for University. They have led from the start. And opportunity goes by the wayside to get that lead up to 15 and keep some momentum, or continue to build on the momentum. Auburndale, on the other hand, dodges the proverbial bullet. They still need to get their scoring in gear, need to find their mojo. Still unable to. Clanks off the rim. Deshawn doing Windex work. Beautiful job of tipping that ball to himself. And University gets that ball quickly. Now they settle down into their half-court offense as we drop under a minute with the 13-point lead. Long range, about 18 feet, no dice from Maurer, and a foul on the rebound as well.
Push is called against Cougars, number 22, Masai Deshawn. That's his second, team's fourth. So now we'll be shooting for the rest of the period.
Yeah, again, 5 fouls, and that's bonus the rest of the period. And it is 2 free throws. No longer do we do one and one. So under 40 seconds now, or actually at 40 seconds.
Out of bounds, Cougars ball. Yes, in case you were backpacking through Europe or some other activity last year and you missed the rule change, we have gone away from the NCAA women's method of doing bonus. We now use something that's more NBA style or NCAA men's. So we go to 2-shot bonus on the 5th foul of the quarter rather than 1-and-1 on the 7th of the half.
No dice. That was Kamara back the other way to stop and go. Trying to nail it, knock it in off the backboard. Will not happen, but the foul got a violation. And Sneed will go to the line.
Block is called against Cougars number 2, Jalen Pringle. That's his second personal foul. The team's fifth. At the line shooting will be number 10, Cameron Sneed.
So much needed points for Auburndale. The Bloodhounds might not be dramatic or emphatic or highlight reel, but off to a rough start here. Needing to find their mojo, build some confidence, find some building achievements.
Violation, did not hit the rim. Cougars ball.
And certainly that's not going to help. Deshawn will inbound the ball, calls out the play, finds his teammate, Carabello, who now brings it up 1-on-1 against Curry. Drop under 10 seconds, right wing extended, Deshawn back with the ball, 1-on-1. against Curry still. Loose ball and a whistle with 1.9 seconds remaining. And it's going to remain with University. Oh, no, it is a foul. It will remain with University, but a foul as well.
Foul is called against Aiden Curry. It's his second. Penalty situation beside Deshawn shooting 2.
Okay, so I made a mistake all the way around. It's also a shooting foul.
Well, no, it's not, but it's bonus.
So Auburndale with the opportunity to cut into the lead. Instead, it's University doing that. And we will come to the end of the first quarter. A in-control quarter by University. They came out strong, scoring the first 8 points, and now up to 19-6. This is the 2024 Earl Graham Metro vs. Florida Challenge, Game 20 of 28 from Joe A. Storen Gymnasium on the Apopka High School campus.
At the end of the first quarter, we have a 13-point ball game. The Cougars leading 19-6 to carry the torch for the Orlando Metro Conference. We'll take this opportunity to thank some others of our presenting sponsors. The 14th annual Earl Graham Metro vs. Florida Challenge is presented by Burn Fat Orlando, who challenges you to step on the scale every day with their money-back guarantee. If you don't lose weight within the first 10 days, they'll refund your money. Give them a call at 855-889-THIN. That's 855-889-THIN to get the tools and guidance you need to achieve better health and your weight loss goals. With an inviting atmosphere, friendly staff, and programs, it's your chance to take charge of your weight and your life. Again, it's 855-889-THIN to begin your weight loss journey.
About to start the second quarter, and so far it's been University in control, exerting their will and skill. A 19-6 lead. They scored the first 8 points. This is the 2024 Earl Graham Metro vs. Florida Challenge. If you're new, it's based on the College Conferences Challenge. We add up which side wins the most games at the end of this event. It's the Metro versus not Florida contingency in each event, as Auburndale continues to have trouble finding their mojo. So there are 23 members of the Metro Conference. Every member that is a public school, public high school, as well as located in Orange County, becomes a member. It's not like in college, where you get to change your conference and you have discussions and you get the invite. If you're a school that's opening and you're a public high school as well as located in Orange County, you're automatically a member of the Metro Conference. Rims in and out. That was Maurer with the first shot, skying for that rebound. It's Lindsay. And back to work, Auburndale goes trailing by 13, make that 11. Nice smooth touch. One minute into the second quarter, 11-point deficit now. Lead back up to 13. So stop, pop, no drop. Slides off that rim, tip, and a nice rebound. Kamara can't hold on to it, though, on the pass. That was rejected by Kamara, making up third opportunity. Kamara's second block. Auburn is still with the possession, third time. And finally, University comes away with it. Give them credit. Great defense. Did not look down, just went back to playing defense, and it pays off. Straight in the rain
for Hudson Maurer. So every time it looks like the Bloodhounds might have finally figured it out, University has an answer.
Start making some headway in, and there you saw 2 blocks by Kamara. slicing through the lane and making the withdrawal.
James Tillis through traffic for 2.
University back to work, and after all that, they actually have extended the lead to 14, largest of the game. Nice pass along the baseline, using that height that they pointed out, and they do it from beyond the arc.
3 for Mo Kamara. Back-to-back shots for him. Illegal screen is called against Bloodhounds number 23.
So
Trey Stevenson, that's his first personal foul. Team's first of this quarter.
17-point lead for University. They've gotten out quick here. Still 5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Down low. Score the deuce on the floater.
Nope, don't do it either. Traveling, no basket.
Traveling, okay.
Bloodhounds ball.
There was contact, but the traveling occurred first. So mentioned at the beginning of this game, and you can also see this in our program. You have to download it. But University is one of the taller, more height-advantaged teams in probably the whole state. As the long-range tray from Sneed, no dice, rims in and out. And speaking of height, Hubbard, 6'4" and senior forward, clears the rebound, hands it off to his teammate. University goes back to work. Now they attack that center with Hubbard. Back out to the top of the key with Maurer. He can't get the tray. Careens off. Lots of hands. Comes out to number 2. Pringle. He launches and drains the rain.
Jalen Pringle with a long 2 for the Cougars.
Okay, long 2. Still, though, impressive. Lead now up to 19, largest of the game. And so there, what I was going to say about the height of University, with 4 guys at least 6'3" actually.
Falling to the floor.
Actually,
Stevenson manages to get at least an attempt off so he can go to the line.
At least
foul is called against number 23, Mo Kamara. That's his first personal foul, the team's first of this quarter. And the other number 23, Trey Stevenson, will be shooting 2.
At least 8 guys who are 6'3" and 3 guys who are at least 6'5" on the University roster. They use that height extremely well. And you've seen it so far. As I say, that last possession, there was an example of them using that height as they got 3 opportunities, but just such strong rebounding technique. If you can't grab the ball, actually corral it, they understand to tip it and position yourself so that Auburndale can't get to it and give your teammate a chance to get to the rebound. So the made free throw cuts the lead back down to 17. As University goes back on the offensive, and unfortunately losing the ball on the turn was Deshawn at the other end. As you like to say, Mark, one good turn deserves another. And now another turnover, so things getting a bit squirrely here at Joe A. Sterling Gymnasium. And out of all that, we now conclude that series of action with a foul.
Foul is called against Cougars, number 22, Masai Deshawn, his third. Carballo's in for him. And yeah, Neil, you see that happen particularly early season when these teams have not had a chance to play and practice as a unit for quite so long, that we get a 3 from Devin Schieb. That once the wheels start to come off the wagon, as it were, you're no longer playing any play that has a name that you did in practice. At that point, you're playing street ball. You got
survival of the fittest.
Yeah. We're going to get an intentional foul called here.
3:26 remaining, 29-15 lead for University. They scored the first 8, have led throughout.
Personal and technical fouls are called against number 0, Levi Hubbard. That is his second and third personal fouls. The team's third and fourth of the period.
So Auburndale with the chance to cut into the lead now, 14-point deficit.
So we'll shoot the personal free throws first, and those have to be taken by the individual who was fouled.
And Coach Bailey is getting Hubbard out there.
Now shooting the technical free throws will be Jalen Pringle. So again, the personal foul, those shots have to be taken by the person who was fouled unless they're injured. The technical free throws can be taken by anyone at the coach's discretion who was on the court at the time the foul occurred. And we will pause for a timeout, a full timeout requested by Auburndale.
And to your point real quickly, Mark, about this being early season, again, University with only 2 games, even though they won, it's only 2 games in Auburndale. This is their very first game. So 29-17, 3.5 in the second quarter. University has been in control throughout, scoring the first 8 points.
The 14th annual Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge is presented by Advent Health, offering the top ER docs within blocks at Central Florida's #1 trusted emergency room. Sometimes life can take an unexpected turn, and when it does, know that the area's most preferred ER is nearby. Their elite team of specially trained physicians and critical care nurses are available 24/7 to care for any of life's thrills and spills. And they offer the most ER locations, so Central Florida's #1 ER is always within reach. Find your Advent Health ER at myclosester.com or scan the QR code in your program.
So as we left that break, went into that break, and now a 29-17 lead, 3.5 minutes remaining. Again, University has led throughout. You know, this really, a couple years ago, almost every team in this event hadn't played any games. You might see 2 or 3 teams that have played 1, but again, as we mentioned, I bring this up because University, this is their 3rd game, and Auburndale hasn't played any. So maybe a subtle, a change more on the subtle side in terms of this being held during what is officially the 2nd week of the season as opposed to the 1st. But I guess having a couple games is still better than none at this point.
Yeah,
coming
certainly.
into this event.
Certainly, and also when you look at, the returning players and how much varsity experience you have represented on your roster, what graduation did to you, the specific guys that you've got in your starting 5 and on your bench depth, being able to play together as a unit, the combos working together, and there's an example of that right there with Kyle Bailey driving the paint for 2. And I lost track of the assist there, but it was a good one. You see that from University, that they're already kind of playing in mid-season form. And yes, to your point, Neil, the fact that they have a couple of games under the belt certainly contributes to that, but also just the fact that I think a lot of these guys have played together before. And there we get another transition basket from Jalen Pringle.
The lead now up to 16, largest of the game. University, again, 8 guys at least 6'3", 3 guys at least 6'5". And you certainly see them using that height to their advantage, just not just in terms of brute height, like just reaching your hand over the opponent, but positioning themselves well as good rebounding technique, tipping the ball, putting themselves in a position to allow your teammate to get rebounds.
Hudson Maurer is called on the block. It's his first personal foul, the team's 5th of this quarter. At the line, shooting 2 is number 4, Derek Ramirez.
But this team, this University team, which again comes off a 22-6 in district championship, they also play very smartly. Good basketball IQ, to use an old phrase. They don't try to do more than they're capable of. They do not try to push the action when it's not needed. They choose their spots for being aggressive and enforcing their will and skill.
Push is called against Bloodhounds number 5, Devin Schieb. That's his first personal foul. The team's 2nd. Apologies, I just realized I had bumped my volume knob and had myself up way too loud. So apologize if I was shouting in your ear there for a minute. Foul called against Bloodhounds, number 0, Jaden Lindsay, his first, the team's third. That one will send Hudson Maurer to the line, shooting 2. 7 points for him, and it will stay 7 for now.
Also, again, want to point out, in addition to University just playing a smart brand, they have 3, again, it's only 2 games, but they do have 3 players averaging in double digits.
Lane violation, one more shot coming to Maurer.
Back to work Auburndale goes.
Jalen Pringle gets in the way of that one. It'll stay with the Bloodhounds.
Down by 16, a minute and a half before halftime. Auburndale has trailed throughout. University has exerted their will and skill. Down into the corner, that's off. Does not find rim from Neal. And University will take over possession now. Obviously won't get to 20 points this time, but a step closer if they can score. And there's another example of smart IQ. You have your big man in the middle, get the ball to him. As the foul, contact. Bailey as he
Kyle
turned
Bailey
around.
Draws contact on the way up. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against Bloodhounds number 5, Devin Schieb, his second, the team's 4th. Bailey hits his first.
And once again, I want to thank you for joining us on the broadcast and spending a part of your holiday weekend with us. Of course, we are live from Joe A. Sterling Gymnasium, home of the Apopka Blue Darters, the 2024 Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge. This is the 20th of 28 games, second to last on day 3. We will be back here tomorrow for the last 7. An event as the rejection, I believe that was Kamara.
It was. Mo Kamara swats that one down.
He has 5 or 6 now. I know that one series he had 2. That was about 4 minutes ago. And this event pits the Metro Conference member. All schools in the Metro Conference are public high schools, and they're located in Orange County against a non-member, a.k.a. the Florida Contingency, every game. That's the idea of this event. Scott Williams, the head coach at Apopka, came up with the idea. And now it looks like Auburndale's going to hope for the last shot, trailing by 18. So certainly, if you can score here, might give them a little momentum, something to build on. Long way to go, but you got to start with step 1. There's the tray, clanks off the heel, no dice for Johnson. And that's the way the first half will end. Again, a half in which University came out from the tip-off, exerting their will and skill, using that height advantage. And they took an 8-0 lead, now up to 18, 36-18 at halftime from Joe A. Sterling Gymnasium on the campus of Apopka High School.
At intermission, it's a 2-1 advantage for the Cougars. 36-18 is your score halfway through game number 20 here at the Earl Graham 14th Annual Metro versus Florida Challenge. We'll take this opportunity to thank some of our other sponsors who helped to make the Metro versus Florida Challenge possible, including our friends at the Foundation for Seminole State College, who want to extend their appreciation to the Van Gundy family, who continue to celebrate the impact of the life of Kim Van Gundy through 2 endowed scholarships, one in education and another in interior design. To honor the memory of Kim Van Gundy, her family has generously donated those 2 scholarships to Seminole State College. You can find a QR code in our program on page 15 if you'd like to learn more. We also want to thank our friends at Williams Construction and Development for their dedicated professional, superior craftsmanship, and better buildings materials. We also thank Winter Park Driving Academy, who now offers road tests that allow your student drivers to skip that pesky trip to the DMV. Visit WPDriving.com to schedule a lesson for your student driver today. We also want to thank Mo Money for their continued support of the Metro vs. Florida Challenge, as well as Elevate Orlando, a civic nonprofit that helps students to grow and strengthen character and application of essential life skills. They are in the classroom and spend more than half their time outside the classroom mentoring students to incorporate those skills into everything that they do so students can apply them to their lives. It's an accredited elective course with OCPS, which has 14 partner schools and over 1,500 participants with a 98% graduation rate and 96% post-secondary placement. Visit Elevate Orlando to learn more. And finally, we want to thank our friends at Excel Speed. Coach Lo Wood runs 3 different training programs each week, one in Apopka, one in East Orlando, and one at Central Florida Christian Academy, offering coaching in all sports for speed and agility as well as fitness training. Visit excelspeed.com to learn more. For those of you listening and watching us online on YouTube or the NFHS network, we're going to take a break for about 5 minutes. We'll be back with the conclusion of Game 20 here at the 14th Annual Earl Graham Metro vs. Florida Challenge, presented by St. Germain Chiropractic, Burnfat Orlando, and Advent Health. The Cougars have the opening possession of the third quarter. Welcome back to Joe Sterling Gymnasium, home of the Apopka Blue Darters. Mark Bargee here with Neil Fisher, ready to take you through the second half of game 20. And University did everything except get that in. Jaden Lindsay got a little bit too much distance under him, got under the backboard there, and so no action for the Cougars on their opening drive, but they could spare a couple of possessions, Neil.
Yeah, we start this second half a 36-18 lead for University, doubling Auburndale, scoring the first 8 points, and obviously they have extended that lead, pretty much scoring as you would expect with a 36-18 lead, a 2-1 margin, and they're off and running again. This time it's Maurer with the rebound. They kick it around that point, around the top of the key now, down on the right wing extended. One-on-one Maurer with the drive, and he goes with that up and over fake pass move and will go to the free throw line.
Foul is called against Bloodhounds. Number 4, Derek Ramirez. That's his third personal foul, the team's first of this period. And it sends Dejon Barber to the line. It sends Hudson Maurer to the line, shooting 2. I remember we switched sides.
So as you would expect, the stats, especially the field goal percentage, matching that 36-18 lead, now of course 37-18. Around 50% for University, 9 of 17 inside the arc, 4 of 8, exactly 50% beyond the arc, and 7 of 14 at the free throw line. Pretty much, Mark, the only thing they have not done well is shot from the free throw line.
Maurer was wide open there, no Bloodhounds guarding him, but nevertheless, that's number 0, Levi Hubbard on the second chance basket.
And again, these are two teams that are coming in off of completely different seasons. Auburndale last year, 8-18, a rare losing season for them under Coach Robinson, now in his 23rd season.
Devin Schieb has the Bloodhound basket.
While University came in 22-6, district champion as well as a regional semifinalist, or if you prefer, Sweet 16.
Aiden Curry floats in a transition layup for the Bloodhounds. And Neil, one thing that hasn't changed, both of these teams took advantage of being able to sit down for a few minutes during halftime. They are continuing to sprint up and down this court. Not seeing a lot of loitering at the half-court line.
Now, not a lot of half-court sets so far in the second half.
And one! Devin Schieb gets the basket and a chance to make it a three-point play. The foul is called against Cougars, number 15, Jared Carballo, his first, the team's first of this period.
So that'll cut the lead to 39-24. Opportunity to get to 14 with the +1. Got some discussion going on the court with the ref. Now she blows her whistle. And at the line, Devin Schieb will try to cut that lead and get the old-fashioned three-point play, which he does.
Coach Robinson trying to convince the official to come in and help the team out as a sixth man. She politely declined. And there's no foul call there. Levi Hubbard reacted as if he'd taken one on the chin, but the officials didn't buy it. It should be noted that there's a new rule in the NFHS rulebook this year about faking a foul. That's always been something that has been kind of distasteful, but has never had a formal penalty system associated with it. Now it's the same kind of penalty that you would get for a delay of game, that you can do it once and you'll get a warning noted in the scorebook. If you do it a second time, it's a technical foul.
So to your point, Mark, about getting up and down this court, we've already played 3.5 minutes. Lead still 14 points, though, and it's going to stay 14 points. So Auburndale, nice work on the board. Schieb can't get it to drop. And just as quickly, the long outlet.
Levi Hubbard on the transition dunk. Kyle Bailey knew what he did as soon as he got there. Kyle Bailey is called on the push. That's his first personal foul, the team's second. Yeah, you could tell he thought the other player was going to stop about 2 steps shorter than he actually did. And almost reminds you in football of when you get those roughing the quarterback penalties of like, oh shoot, I thought you were going to keep backing up. Jumper not there.
Driving that baseline, the good defense, back out. 1-on-1 now on that left wing, ball comes loose, and we also got a foul, which is why it came loose.
Foul's called against Derek Ramirez, his 4th, team's 2nd of this period. So that's notable. Still 12 minutes and 40 seconds left to play. And with 4 fouls, Derek Ramirez will take some time off. Coming in for him will be Dejon Barber. Attempted alley-oop. But Kamara is contacted on the way up. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against number 1, Aiden Curry, his 3rd personal foul, the team's 3rd this period. First one, making it look easy. 6 points for him now. 6'8" senior. Which, if I didn't put that on the graphic, you probably could have guessed.
Well, again, Mark talked about throughout the game, 8 players at least 6'3" and 3 players at least 6'5". I mentioned this throughout the game. It's not just simply the fact that they're taller, not just that they're using them in the sense of just putting your hands above the players, but good basketball IQ in terms of using that height. Getting to the right place at the right time, positioning yourself against the opponent. Even when the individual can't get the rebound, they're preventing the opponent from getting the rebound.
Push is called against Cougars, number 22, Deshawn. That's his 4th personal foul. Team's 3rd. Checking into the game for the Cougars, number 25, Kyle Bailey. So Deshawn, and kind of in the same position that Derek Ramirez was a second ago for Auburndale, and he'll have to take a little break.
So Auburndale back to work, 43-25 lead, 3 minutes in the 3rd quarter. Auburndale so far is giving it their best pass. Drain the rain for Pregame.
For Deshawn Johnson from Aiden Curry.
So now Auburndale going to a full court press. And University calmly with poise breaks that press. Couple of nice passes. Bailey, no dice, can't get it to drop. Too much heat on it, way too long. And at the other end, same situation, except trying to make the withdrawal as opposed to the straightaway. And possession will remain with Auburndale. Auburndale inbounds it. One-on-one against Bailey, sweeping through the lane with the right-handed attempt. Barber, he can't get back the other way. The long pass. Oh, beautiful second pass to
Pringle to Carballo for 2.
And there's exactly what I was talking about. Smart IQ, playing basketball. You make that extra pass.
Yeah, clearly the first pass was intended to go straight to the basket, but unfortunately he had to go a little bit too long to get there, but had the good sense to find some help from a third guy.
Not just the fact that he made that, but he made it because he had the presence of who was around him. And the other way, speaking of smart,
Kamara, transition basket.
So there, you see Kamara, he realized that the lane opened up just enough for him to bolt through, and he took it, and that's exactly what he did. So a couple of baskets now, the lead back up to 19.
Full timeout called by Auburndale.
Hasn't been over 20, that lead, but University has led from the beginning to end in most of this game in double digits. 47-28, 2024 Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge.
We'll take this opportunity to remind you that we have a full-color PDF program available for you to download. We went paperless a few years ago, so we no longer have those books at the admission table, but we still make them. We just make them online. So if you would like your own copy, it is full color and absolutely free. You can either scan the QR code at the admission table, or you can just go to metrovsfl.com. That's metrovsfl.com, like Metro versus Florida. And just click the button that says download a PDF program. You can get a copy of the season previews, rosters, and team photos of all 50 teams participating in the event. You'll also get the history of the event and the records, and you'll get the complete schedule and where you can find the broadcasts for each game, as well as our tribute to Coach Earl Graham, for whom we've named the event since he passed away almost 4 years ago. Back to live action here at Joe Sterling Gymnasium. Coming up on a minute and a half to go. Push is called against Cougars, number 23, Mo Kamara, his second personal foul, the team's fourth this period. So that means for the next 90 seconds or so, Apopka will have a bonus advantage. To the corner. Trey is short for Schieb. And now again, trying to make transition happen.
Minute 10 remaining in the
Traveling. Bloodhounds ball. And Neil, you and I have called so many of these early season games. Of course, we called 4 games at the preseason classic at Wekiva, and we've called 3, 6. This is our 8th game, I believe, that we've called for the Metro versus Florida. So this is the 12th game we've called so far this season, and so often we've said, gosh, we just don't see a lot of transition action happening. These teams just don't seem to have the rhythm together yet, but that hasn't been true tonight. A basket by Jalen Pringle in transition on the layup. It's been anything but that.
Well, I'd say University has the rhythm. Auburndale's still working on it.
Well, they're trying. They're doing the transition. They're just not executing at the end of it.
Right.
Here we go again. Transition dunk by Mo Kamara.
Again, this is the third game that University played. They come in 2-0 with victories over Lake Brantley and Ocoee. The very first game that Auburndale's played.
Cougars number 2, Jalen Pringle, his third, the team's 5th penalty situation.
This is the very first regular season game that Auburndale's played. And then the other thing, again, looking at, this is a University team coming off a 22-6 record, district championship, and an appearance in the regional semifinal, or if you prefer, the Sweet 16.
Snead shooting 2.
So to your point, Mark, why we're seeing, again, both these teams are trying to play transition, but University is obviously, with the 22-point lead, executing a lot better from start to finish. Your point well taken that Auburndale's having trouble finishing, but they've had a number of attempts as well that they've turned the ball over, and far more than University when they get into transition. So 21.1 seconds remaining, 51-30 score. This is the 2024 Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge.
Offensive charge is called against Jalen Pringle, his 4th personal foul. No bonus shots on offensive fouls when he turns the ball over the Bloodhounds. Speaking of the Bloodhounds, charge taken by Jaden Lindsay.
28 games. Each game features or matches a Metro Conference team against a non-Metro, a.k.a. the Florida Contingency. And at the end of those 28 games, 4 days, all from last 3 from Apopka High School. The first was at Lake Highland Prep. We add up which side wins more games as we get a foul in the closing seconds.
Foul's called against Cougars number 15, Jared Carballo. That's his third personal foul, and that will continue the bonus situation for Auburndale. Cameron Sneed back at the line, shooting 2.
5 seconds remaining in the third quarter to be exact. And your Metro Conference membership, there are 23 teams that are all located in Orange County, and they're all public high schools. It's not like college conferences where you get realignment and teams move around and you get invites. Very simply, if you're a public high school and you're located in Orange County, you're automatically a member when the school opens. So one last opportunity for University, stuffed out by Schieb, and he takes the long tray, does not go. And pretty much the score, what we saw during the first half, continues into the third quarter. Still a commanding lead for University, representing the Metro Conference, 41-32 over Auburndale, representing the Florida Contingency. And we begin the fourth quarter, a 51-32 lead for the University Cougars over the Auburndale Bloodhounds. Auburndale with possession, trying to cut into that lead, and just as soon as I say that, another turnover, 2 quick passes, and making the withdrawal.
Jared Carballo for 2.
So University scored the first 8 points. They've extended the lead now to over 20. And you can really see the difference between these two teams, again, as we headed into the period break. University coming off a 22-6 record, district championship, Sweet 16 appearance.
Foul called against number 5, Christian Hobbs is first. Team's first this period.
With 4 returning seniors, Auburndale an 8-18 team last year.
So right now it is a 10-9 lead for the Metro Conference teams. If University holds on here, unless something dramatic changes about the momentum here, then that would make it 11-9. Keep in mind that the Metro Conference is on a losing streak right now. They did very well in the early years of this event. When you go back into the early 20-teens, I'll say, the Metro Conference was dominant. And they won several of these things in a row, often by a fairly wide margin. However, last few seasons have really just not belonged to the Metro Conference. They're on a 4-season losing streak, and so they would like to get back on top here. And they have an opportunity to do that because, like I said, if University holds on here, it'll be 11-9. And as you look at tomorrow's schedule, you see Windermere, you see Evans, you see East River, you see some opportunities. And certainly the host school Apopka, who takes on Lake Howell with the 12-15 game. It certainly seems very plausible that Metro could take this one. Foul called against University's number 25, Kyle Bailey. His second, team second. At the line shooting is Trey Stevenson. And once I get home, either before I go to bed or after I get up tomorrow morning, I will post the scores from today. You can already get most of them on Max Preps because the coaches have gotten pretty good about self-reporting them. But we'll have them on MetroVSFL.com by mid-morning tomorrow at the latest. Kamara. I should also point out that on our website, MetroVSFL.com, if you go to the schedule page, you'll find a drop-down menu that you can change the year. We don't have the results all the way back to the very, 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 very beginning when we only had paper records. And we get a basket by Devin Schieb. But we do have them, I think, from just about the third or fourth Metro versus Florida Challenge through present. So we've got at least 10 years of records on there.
In the meantime, they still a 21-point lead as the launch and drain the rain from Maurer.
Hudson Maurer for 3.
So taking a look again, only 2 games into the season for University, but nonetheless, what we have to go on is the other end. Kamara with the emphatic dunk.
Kamara.
From Bailey, beautiful setup.
Yeah, those last two, as we got 5 seconds under guard, and we're going to pause here for a little officials conference. Say, hey, wait a minute.
So, again, only 2 games, but nonetheless, so far, patterns emerged as you would expect. Maurer and Kamara, both the seniors, leading University. Kamara with 15.5 points and Maurer with 14. And Kamara, actually, with still 6 minutes remaining, has matched his total with 15. He was averaging 15.5 again, and Maurer certainly should pass it. His average of 14, he has 12 now. So certainly looking at the statistics, if you get an idea, looking for trends, looking to really see how this team is built, this University team, and they've certainly done what you would expect looking at those stats.
Absolutely, Neil. And so we've got 5:53. Let's make my clock say 5:53 so it matches the one in the gym. To go here in the game, and again, Bloodhounds just don't have any answers for University so far. But again, I don't want to pin this entirely as we get a foul called against University's number 11, Hudson Maurer, his second, the team's third. I don't want to pin this entirely at the feet of Auburndale for being inept. It's not that.
No,
it's the University really is playing in midseason form for a team that's in week 2. Stripped by Kyle Bailey, and that puts another transition play into effect. And one! Christian Hobbs gets the basket and a chance to make it a 3-point play.
And you can definitely see their emotions are in mid-season 2. They immediately get up in unison.
Trey Stevenson is called on the foul, and checking into the game for the Bloodhounds.
University's bench is to our left, and they got up, sat down, and got back up again. The first time they got up was when, as you called it, the strip. It wasn't even a block. It was just Maurer just stuck his hand out and ripped it out of the other hands of the Auburndale. And then at the basket, the bench rose again. I always think that's kind of a neat thing as the reverse.
Reverse layup by Hudson Maurer.
When the bench rises, it always looks like the wave. It's like each player rises up after the other.
Yeah, Hudson Maurer and Kamara probably running neck and neck for your MVP award, although Kyle Bailey is making a pretty good case for himself as well. Most of his stats are on defense and on assists, but we're going to get a player control foul called against Jaden Lindsay. His second, the team's second. And we will trade out the University team. So now Levi Hubbard, Trenell Taylor, Jalen Pringle, and Travius Neal and Masai Deshawn in the game. Pringle and Hubbard, the only 2 out of those who have significant numbers in the book, so that kind of gives you the sense that Coach Bailey is comfortable where the game is. Short on the tray from Lindsay. Now coming back the other way. Hubbard trying to make something happen in transition. There it is. Levi Hubbard, coast to coast. Again, the speed, the stamina. Neil, you and I talk about this so much because we call a lot of Wekiva games, and this is something that has been a point of contention for Wekiva is the stamina. That you come out guns blazing in the first quarter, maybe even the first few minutes of the second quarter, and then at some point you run out of gas. You start to lose mental focus. You start to lose the physical stamina just because you've got guys who haven't spent as many minutes as maybe you'd like on varsity playing at that level and at that intensity, and it's just hard to keep up that intensity for 32 minutes.
Yeah, and I'd also say it's not just physical endurance, but the mental
and
emotional.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the focus starts to fade a little bit after the first 8 or 12 minutes of a game. But University, again, playing in midseason form here, you see even they've got 5 different guys in the court. They just did a fire drill substitution, switched out 5 guys for 5 other guys, and the speed did not suffer for any of that. In fact, if anything, it probably went up, because now you got fresh guys. You got Trenell Taylor steals a dunk for the Cougars. That is his first time in the book. And you put an exclamation point next to that one, next to the little 2 that you write in the scorebook. Masai Deshawn steals a layup for the Cougars. And now you get the sense that Auburndale is starting to just look stunned.
Yeah, we're in a running clock. If you're new to high school basketball in Florida, it's 35 points in the second clock, the margin. So I think Auburndale is probably as much stunned as into a running clock situation. Long outlet to Hubbard, and he slams it in.
Levi Hubbard on a transition dunk.
So 3 minutes
you
remaining.
watch Auburndale move up and down the court, and you can tell they look winded. And a team like University that's putting that full court transition on for that long, I mean, I'd be out of breath too. Foul called against Levi Hubbard. That's his 4th personal foul, the team's 4th of this quarter. It sends Jaden Lindsay to the line, shooting 2.
Yeah, and again, Mark, this goes back to what I've been saying throughout the game. University, a smart team, great basketball IQ, but they're pushing it, but it's not like they're just always trying to get fast breaks. They know when to pull it out.
When to hold him and when to fold him, as it were.
Yeah. So in other words, yes, they've gotten their share of fast break points, a couple passes, guy with the odd man advantage, but it's more of the sense, there's one example of that.
Trenell Taylor on the pass to Jared Carvalho.
But it's more of the sense they get into their half-court offense quickly and then move the ball quickly until they get that good look at the basket. They pass quickly, they move quickly, like in terms of getting to their positions and their locations. And they shoot the ball quickly when the shot is open. So 1.5 minutes remaining. The only question now is what the final margin's going to be. And I believe you said that would make it an 11-9 lead?
11-9
for Metro?
Yes. Yeah, Metro has won each of the first 2 days. What's there? 7 games in a day. They've won each of the first 2 days 4-3.
So again, while we got a chance, I'm not going to go.
It's worth noting, by the way, that University, it's actually going to be a little bit of a decision-making process to figure out where to do the Earl Graham MVP award, because there are, no kidding, 5 players in double figures.
And you'll hear Mark talk about this in more detail. But again, Coach Earl Graham, coach for over 50 years, was an assistant coach.
Basket by James Tallis.
This event now named after him. Unfortunately, he passed away. It'll be 5 years on January 7th. And he was a coach who was a great developer of players and their talent, but he was even more developer of players as young men and setting them up and providing them with the tools to be able to live a long and successful life. And about 95% of his players talk about that. He was the kind of coach who would come into the gym at 5:30. School starts at 7:15. and he'd work with the players for an hour, hour and a half before game started. And again, he was a firefighter, so he did not work on campus. He'd go out of his way to open up his gym at that time. And so, an 8-0 run began the game for University, and they just kept pouring it on, extending the lead systematically and mechanically, using their height advantage. And really a game which the final result indicated where the two teams are. University 22-6, a Sweet 16 participant looking to take the next step. Auburndale looking to rebound from an 8-18 season. 74-36 your final score. University, Mark, take us to the finish line.
To the end of the ball game, and we've got some hardware to hand out. The MVP plaque is presented each game in our Metro versus Florida Challenge in memory of Coach Earl Graham, our long-term assistant coach here at Apopka, who coached and impacted thousands of lives throughout Central Florida. You can read our tributes to Coach Graham in our digital program to learn more about this remarkable man. And this one is going to go to number 11, Hudson Maurer, who had 14 points for the Cougars among 5 total players for University who were in double figures. But Maurer certainly picking up major stats on both sides of the ball tonight. Huge difference makers for University. Congratulations. And if you are watching us online, we want to invite you to join us again. We've got one more to wrap things up here tonight. We're going to go to Lake Buena Vista versus Lake Mary coming up in less than 10 minutes. Just remember, if you're watching us online, that each and every game is on its own separate live stream. So we will need you to exit out of this live stream, and we will meet you at game 21 in just about 8.5 minutes. We'll see you then from Joe Sterling Gymnasium here at Apopka.